Reforming the Buffalo Police Department requires changing the contract with its union, an unwieldy 400 pages of agreements, memoranda, and arbitration rulings that dates back to 1986. I spent weeks combing through its pages. I spoke with a half-dozen labor lawyers, the president of the police union, and advocates for police reform. And this is what I learned. The contract makes it difficult to discipline or fire bad cops, and it strips the police commissioner of management rights that are a given in other police departments.
A good union contract definitely has the voices of two people engaged in an adversarial process in it.
Not this one. This contract, Adams said, is all about protecting the interests of union members. Let's start with discipline. Suppose the commissioner wants to get rid of a cop he considers a bad apple. The city charter and state law give him that right, with due process protections for the officer. But the contract takes that right away. It requires layers of procedures and ultimately leaves the decision in the hands of an independent arbitrator. When is the last time that a Buffalo police officer was fired for misconduct?
There's been two that have happened, I'll say, in the last 4 years.
This in a city that's paid out $12 million in the last 5 years to settle lawsuits against the police department. Not that Evans thinks his cops were at fault in any of those cases.
I haven't seen a legitimate, right, could I say that, a legitimate incident where the police did wrong.
A second problem with the contract. Almost everyone is in the union, and almost all job assignments are dictated by seniority. In fact, only 10 of the department's 740 employees are not members of the police union. Frontline supervisors are members of the same union as the officers they direct. That includes the Internal Affairs Unit, the police who investigate cops accused of misconduct. So the Internal Affairs investigators are union members investigating fellow union members.
Correct.
The seniority system determines how vacancies are filled, how shifts are assigned, and how overtime is awarded. The commissioner doesn't choose the head of homicide or narcotics or the sex offense unit. Seniority does. The same goes for all but a handful of his headquarters staff and district chiefs. Seniority is a headache for management. For the union, it's sacrosanct, completely non-negotiable.
Right, seniority would be paramount. This department's based on it, or this union is based on seniority.
The one-sidedness of the police contract is not limited to discipline and seniority, as elected officials discussed last month in the Common Council. There's also residency and annual performance evaluations and training.
There's some issues that need to be a part of the contract when we're talking about police reform.
Tomorrow night, I'll report on current contract negotiations and the continuing failure of the Brown administration to press for police reforms. For Channel 2 News, I'm Geoff Kelly with Investigative Post.